Alright, let's look at the homework 2.2, problem number 5. Alright, so use the graph of the function s to state the value of each limit if it exists. Alright, so let's do that. Actually, maybe let's try to do it without the graph. Alright, so for part A, x is approaching 0 from the negative side. Alright, so if you have, so you take the limit of 7 over 1 plus e to the 1 over x as x approaches 0 from the negative side. Alright, so this is going to be, so it's 7, right? And you have a 1 plus e to the, alright, so here's the thing. So x, if you plug in 0, so you have a 1 over 0, so it's going to be infinity. But here we are approaching from the negative side, so it's 0 is slightly negative, so it's a 1 over slightly negative 0 would be negative infinity. So here negative, I'm going to just put negative infinity, right? So negative infinity means that so exponential function, you go to negative infinity. If you can visualize the exponential function, say e to the x. So e to the x looks like this, right? And as x approaches negative infinity, so we're heading that way, right? So you can see that the function value is getting closer to 0, right? So this is 7 over 1 plus 0, right? Which gives you 7, right? So answer for this guy is 7. Alright, now only difference between this guy and part B is that now x is approaching 0 from the right hand side, right? So if you want to take the limit of 7 over 1 plus e to the 1 over x as x approaches 0 from the right hand side, you're going to get, right, 7 is still 7, 1 still 1, right? Here you have e to the 1 over 0 positive, which means that this is going to go to positive infinity, right? So as x approaches infinity, so e to the x actually shoots up to positive infinity. Alright, so this is going to be 7 over 1 plus infinity, right? But 7 divided by extremely big number is going to be very close to 0. So limit is going to be 0. Right? And the last one, you can see that the limit from the left hand side and the right hand side do not agree with each other. So they give you different values. Therefore, this limit does not exist. Right? So since these two values are not the same, so we know that this limit does not exist. Alright, so let's type it in. Alright, so this guy is 7, and that guy is 0, and this guy does not exist. Alright, so let's check if I submit for testing. Alright, it came back and looks like we got all three of them correctly. Alright, so just for the heck of it, let's try to sketch this guy and see what happens. Alright, so I'm going to sketch this graph. Alright, so f of x is equal to 7 over 1 plus e to the 1 over x. So the graph is going to look like this. Alright, so you can see that here as x approaches, let's try to use that, right? So as x approaches 0 from, let's say, from the left, and you can see that this is heading toward the 7 right there, right? If you're approaching from the right, this guy is heading towards 0. So that's why you have 0. Right? But the left-hand limit and the right-hand limit, those tendencies do not agree with each other. So therefore, the limit, two-sided limit does not exist. Right? That's it. I hope that this was clear.